The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at wrestlingwithjohners.com.
This is Brad Marcus, and welcome to another episode of Toilet Side Wrestling Talk. Today's guest hails from Brooklyn, New York, and trained at the Technique to Training Wrestling Academy under Logan Black and Brother Greatness. She's also a personal trainer and founder of Fitness for Misfits. Maybe you've seen her on TV. She's appeared on Blue Bloods, Orange is the New Black, and Earthling. And according to IMDb, she has exactly 13 tattoos on her arms and chest. Let me go ahead and warn you, please do not let your mothers watch this interview. It can only go wrong for them and probably your family. Also, at the same time, why don't you go ahead and spay your pets? So let's welcome today's guest, someone who tweeted the funniest tweet I've ever heard, according to me and only me. I give you your new dad, Sazzy Boatright.
So, we meet again.
I thought it'd be a good time to cut a promo on everybody in the whole fucking world. I'm crazy.
Frankly, I think you're a huge fucking bitch.
So, the way movies work, in case you never have seen one. I escaped from the insane asylum. Democrats are for abortions, and I'm not, but I'm pro-choice.
And I will come out there and teach your bitch ass hoe face a lesson.
It's like, don't hate the game, hate the flavor. Hate the game, don't hate the flavor. Don't hate the game. I don't know how the fuck the saying goes.
Mark my words. Guess I'm gonna have to kick your ass for a second time.
I think I shouldn't have to spend more than $1,000 to become a Twitter famous. I believe in full circles and full triangles and full squares.
I'm gonna fucking break all your fingers and toes.
I thought people would just be throwing money at me once I got into that ring. But apparently you have to ask to get paid. I'm a Christian, on paper.
I'll fucking murder you.
And y'all can just fuck yourself.
All right, Sazzy, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Brad.
Those are very impressive promos. I watched all of them. They were great.
You know, I don't know what it is about wrestling that brings that out in me, but the indie wrestling community has given me so much to work with, and they really do come from a place of love. Like, I'm not making fun of, except for the one really long one comes from a place of, you know, satirizing the girl who likes to complain about her lack of wrestling career. But
yes,
that's
for sure.
That's what you get when you know, cut a shitty promo. I'm going to do it again. So
we are going to get into wrestling, but can I make a couple assumptions about you just based on your Amazon wish list, and you tell me how accurate what I say is, okay?
Okay, cool.
You're, for some reason, in the rain a lot. You're into fitness. You have some carpentry to do. You have some sleep or pain issues in the facial area, and you enjoy lattes.
Oh, man, I don't even remember what's on my...
Okay, so it's a bunch of raincoats, overalls, a toolbox, a compression mask, and a foam maker. And I think something fitness, because I picked that up too.
Yeah, I'm my shoot job is fitness instructor. So I mean, I'm more of like a personal trainer right now. Sure. But right before I started wrestling, I was working at a fitness studio in Williamsburg, and if anybody really knows me, they know that that's not the best fit for my personality. It requires somebody very PC and you know, like vanilla, and you know, somebody who can kind of disappear into the background and reappear when they need to tell people how to do exercises. I used that as a platform to make people laugh. My fitness classes were, for better or for worse, like stand-up sets, in my opinion, or at least that's how I felt about them. But you know, that doesn't really work well for the brand.
Now the compression mask.
I don't know what you're talking about. Can I pull up my Amazon?
Yeah, pull it up.
Amazon.com. Let's see here. Am I logged into my sister's account? Yeah. That's who has the Prime. Okay, hold on, my lists. I've got, where is it? Wish list, my ideal lists. There's so much space in here.
I was directed to it from like your Twitter, like a page. There was a link, and then hit a link tree thing.
I remember putting it in there because I was like, I saw it on Willa's link tree, and I was like, oh, what a good idea, because her wish list was so cute and stuff. But oh my gosh, I understand now. So the boots, yes, overalls, pull-up bar, I would love that. The Bulgarian bag too, dumbbells, yes. Garden tool bag is not supposed to be on there. That's my sister.
Sure.
The sneakers are mine. I do need a raincoat like really badly, because as we all know, like New York City is becoming like a flood zone actively.
It's like Atlantis.
Yeah. So that was fucking weird. And that compression mask, I thought it just looked nice. But actually I got
for vanity purposes.
I think, because I'm self-conscious about my under eye zone. But actually I already got something like that, so I'm just going to take that right off of there. Thanks for making me look at this, because now I know that this is not my list. That's Leah's list.
So does your sister like foam, like, or is it you who's like very into having foam in your lattes?
Oh, because I have the little stir thing on there? Oh,
it was an actual foam maker.
Yeah, it's a milk frother. But you know what? I can move that. I can delete that off too, because we recently bought a coffee maker that has a milk frother attached to it. So, my life is lit right now. All my dreams are coming true. I'm a pro wrestler.
You're living a dream.
I've got a milk frother on my coffee machine.
Yeah. May I ask you, is that machine under $200?
I think so. It's a Ninja. Like
cool.
Yeah, so it's like a coffee maker and a milk frother, and it does
could kill you.
Yeah, I mean, there are no blades on it somehow, but you can put a little cup in there, or you can put the full carafe in there, so you can pick what size coffee you want. Because that was a big problem for us. Also, we were using a Chemex, and everybody knows it takes 30 minutes to make coffee with that thing. You always forget about it, but. So I broke that on accident one day. My girlfriend took the opportunity to bring us into the modern age.
Yeah.
An actual coffee maker.
You got to grow up at some point.
I truly know that.
You have several tweets that I find hilarious, but you had the single greatest tweet I've ever seen. It was a couple weeks ago. It just said, "I just got body slammed so hard I had to take a shit." I thought it was so honest, and it made me feel that way.
I mean, it was really that visceral. I was working with I was working with this guy we call Big CJ, because there's Chris Ryan, who also goes by CJ, and he's much smaller than Big CJ. And Big CJ, Brother Greatness, is my trainer, and we were meeting up at like 5 in the fucking morning to wrestle in a ring in Queens. And like Big CJ would come out, and he would practice all of his like body slam and like all of his
power moves.
Like all of his like power bump moves and shit on me. So that particular day, and it was 5 or 6 in the morning. So like Jesus. That shit'll wake you right up. And I was like, yep, there it is. There's my morning shit expedited out of my body. So that actually happens.
I've seen a lot. You have a whole collection of taking a shit. Do you have IBS, or is this just like your regular?
I don't know. I've never been diagnosed with IBS, but I do think I'm a little lactose intolerant, and I'm finding that out the hard way. But I also think I'm very regular. So
Okay, good, good.
I have a
That's
lot of
really-
interest in that.
On your IMDb account, so I've researched I don't know where you live or anything.
Rad, amazing.
Yeah. No, just because I wanted to see this. Do you know that they have, did anyone from IMDb come to you and count how many tattoos you have and where? Because they're very specific that you have 13 and like they're on your chest and arms, I think is what it said.
And that was
Why is that on there?
That was my assistant.
Okay.
That was me. But you know,
okay. I just wanted to ask, is it awesome to have an assistant?
Yeah. In my mind's eye, it's awesome. But yeah, I put that on there. I'm really nitpicky about, so I have a lot of opinion. I won't go down this rabbit hole, but I have a lot of opinions about IMDb profiles. Because like I want them to be informative, but I also don't want to like write my own bio because I think people who do that who aren't famous are fucking lame. But apples to apples or whatever.
Sure.
Everybody's opinion. But yeah, so I know from working for a casting director like many, many years ago that they do like, if you don't have like a readily available headshot online or information about your acting career online, then they go to your IMDb page and they'll print that out or like save that on file in lieu of like, a resume or whatever.
Sure.
And so I was like, my manager, like 2 years ago, which is already like wildly outdated because I just keep getting tattoos, but made like a comp card. You know how like models have comp cards?
Yeah,
so
sure.
He made one and it was like arm, torso, leg, it was like this kind of pieced out body, whatever. And I put that up and I think my agent was like, I hate that. And then I was like, well, I don't think anybody understands that like I have a lot of tattoos and you can kind of see them in my head. Anyways, yes. I put that on there because I was like,
you did.
Yeah. So, I was like, well, how cool would it be if a casting director looked at this and they knew just how many tattoos I had?
Yeah, totally. We need someone, not 12 tattoos, not 14. We need someone with 13. She's perfect.
And they're all on her arms
and
her ankle. So that's perfect for us. Yeah, said no casting director ever. So
were you like a performer as a kid?
As a kid, no, I was painfully shy.
Really?
Painfully. Yeah.
Did you have siblings?
Yeah.
Okay.
My brother was like Ferris Bueller. Got away with fucking everything.
Yeah.
He was friends with like all the kids in my grade and older than me. And I was like Ferris Bueller's sister, where I was like a high achieving bitch, like didn't get enough attention. But so painfully shy as a child, but in high school I got into theater. I was a theater kid.
Okay.
And then by way of that, I like got the nerd vote for prom court, and I was like a finalist for prom queen my senior year.
Nice. I'm surprised I haven't heard that before, but go on.
Yeah, well, it was that's how we did things in Ohio. But but the person who won homecoming queen also won prom queen, which was not legal at the other high school, but I'm not like holding on to that or anything. Saying,
do you have an attorney on retainer right now just in case things spiral out of control?
I've been talking. I've been talking.
I know. I won't press on. So did you like in high school? Was your plan to? I'm moving to Hollywood. With this sentence.
I think like I smoked a lot of weed in high school and on and off, and I got this idea in my head that I really wanted to go to art school in California, like Jim Morrison, because I loved the Doors movie. Like I didn't even like love the Doors. I love the Doors movie and the way like California looked in that, which is obviously not what LA is like at all anymore. But yeah, so I had this idea that I was going to go to California and go to art school, and then I started applying to art. What did I do? There's a thing called National Portfolio Day, where you like go to the local art school and you show your portfolio to a bunch of different art schools. And like the biggest part about art school is getting your portfolio accepted. Sure. And then the rest is like just filling out the application and writing an essay and whatever. So I got my portfolio accepted at a bunch of different schools. I think some were East Coast, some were West Coast. One was Pratt. One was like Otis in LA, and maybe the Bay Area, someplace in the Bay Area. But I only finished the application process for Pratt and RISD because I wanted so badly to go to New York after I went there. Like there was nothing I wanted more than to just be in New York.
Yeah.
And be in it, like it was for like the first 5 years of my life in New York. I woke up every day and I was like, this is fucking insane. This is insane that I'm here in this city. And like, I could move out into the outer boroughs and I'm still in New York City. You know? Like, I had this like, but I was like living around Brooklyn and, that was a long time ago, but I just, had this idea that I was going to come here. I came here for not acting, but fine art. But I was kind of like, the whole time I was like, I'm going to find some sort of way to perform, I'm going to find my, I was like really obsessed with The Office. And I was like, I don't know how to do that, but I want to do something like that, like
the NBC one, the Steve Carell one. Okay.
Yeah.
Not the Ricky Gervais one.
I like the Ricky Gervais one too, but I think at that particular time in my life, I didn't appreciate the dark humor of it.
And there's only 12 episodes, like total for the series.
That too. I was like living for Pam and Jim's romance at that time.
Sure.
So I was kind of just like going through the moves with art school. Art school was pretty cool, but
what type of art did you do? Like, did you concentrate on?
I was doing, actually, it makes a lot of sense, given what I'm doing now, but it was really a lot of video art. It was, I went to school, I was in the sculpture program, the BFA sculpture program, but, so I was learning how to like weld and I worked in the wood shop and I would do like mold making classes and shit like that. But new media was like a burgeoning field in the art world, and that involved digital art and like video art and interactive computer art. Like everybody started dabbling with like the internet as like a medium. And so my junior year, I had this final project that was like an installation. I did a couple different things. I did an installation based on Heath Ledger's death, which I just like ran around the city and followed paparazzi following like the Heath Ledger coffin and shit like that. And like, I would just do the dumbest thing. Like I would do really weird shit for art projects, but yeah, so that was something. But I also had this great teacher who really encouraged me to do weird shit and like really encouraged my weirdness. But I did that, and then I did a thing where I like created a false persona of this like teenage girl in Sebastopol, California, who made makeup tutorials, and I was like starting to build this like video library of this girl, and I just, at that particular time in my life, I was not willing to like lean into that, like carry on this false persona. There's something like morally so ambiguous about that to me, but it could have been cool. I don't know. But either way, it's probably like buried in the archive somewhere on YouTube. But
had you ever been to New York prior?
My first time in New York was like 2003. I think my junior year of high school.
Okay.
So that was that. So that was my first time. But then I realized when I came here how ingrained New York City was in my psyche from being like a kid who watched a lot of like Nickelodeon. Do you remember like the tongue depressor guy, fucking popsicle stick man? Do you remember? I don't know.
That? I remember you can't do that on television, but I'm a lot older than you, so really? I may have not. I'm 45 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a lot older than you.
I'm 35, so like,
Yeah, but 10 years difference from when I was watching Nickelodeon regularly to when you were.
Fair.
Like I was probably out of Nickelodeon at that point.
Yeah. Even Blue's Clues is like a little past my time.
Yeah, my kids though. Kids like used to watch all that stuff.
Yeah. So like I don't know. There was like a lot of New York City, I think, in children's programming.
Okay.
When we were younger, and like, I don't know. I was just like, there was something. Oh, I was a big Sesame Street kid.
Oh, okay.
Fort Greene looked like Sesame Street, and I was like, "This is great. This is where I, it like tapped into something so innate." But yeah, it was kind of like, the whole. I don't know. I'm like a cockroach. Like I probably will just be in New York forever and like live off of nothing and make it work.
Would other people describe you as a cockroach?
No.
Is this just you're doing this yourself? Okay.
It's not a put down.
No, I know. It's just the actions of a cockroach, not the actual physical part of the cockroach.
Yeah, they're very industrious.
Yeah.
They also shit a lot, so.
Oh, wow. You have well, that's a whole other episode. So when did you get like your first paid acting gig?
That's a good question.
Was that a big deal for you?
Yeah, I think, well, you know what? I think probably the first paid acting gig was like being an extra on Unforgettable or some dumb show like that. So that was like my first paycheck, but like my first actual co-star on television. Well, so there was this thing that I did. I got hired direct before I had an agent or a manager. I got hired direct by this wonderful lady named Allison Cohn to do an MTV International prank show called Bugging Out. So I was like the plant for all the prank shows, and I would do things like make people meet me in the back of a Cafe Bene and then like start smashing their computer in front of them. But like it wasn't, it was the bag was like, I'm smashing your computer, but we switched them out or whatever. And a couple guys got really mad at me and had to like.
But was it fun?
It was all right. I got kind of stressed out at one point, and the producer like took me for a walk around the block and smoked me up and was like, "You need to calm down."
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I still don't think I'm in the right mindset, but okay, I'm gonna go back in there and finish it. But that was kind of fun. That was like $500 an episode or something, so it wasn't nothing. Awesome. But yeah, and then my first co-star was on Orange Is the New Black, and everybody thinks that I played a prisoner, but I actually just played. My character's name was literally First AD. So, and like when I did a project with Madeline Brewer, who's on the first season of Orange Is the New Black, and she was like, "Yeah, so were you like crew on Orange Is the New Black?" I was like, "No, I was no." For the last time, I played crew in front of the crew.
Did you have any speaking lines?
I had one, and I had two. It was like, "We're ready for you, Miss King," I think was her name. It was Blair Brown's character, and then the other one was like me counting down to on the air, like, "Well, we're on in 5, 4," and I looked like this was literally like my costume. Totally. And and I sat around on set all day talking to like Richard Mazer and Blair Brown, and they're lovely people,
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for recreating the experience of your those two speaking parts. So, did wrestling play any role in your childhood? Sorry about that. I kicked off. All right, go on. I apologize.
We're talking about
wrestling in your childhood.
Yeah, so wrestling in my childhood really wasn't really didn't play a role in my early childhood. I was not watching WWE or WCW on my own. There's a fly in here. Oh, but sorry. So that's why I keep
it's here.
But yeah, so I didn't watch wrestling until I was in high school, and I was dating this like little metalhead guy. This little like tense metalhead guy, like really into LARPing and drama. He was in theater too, so that's why But like when I look back at my dating record, I'm like, I've always been gay. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, why was I picking these guys anyways? So He was fine for the time, and we would sit in his basement and watch SmackDown, I think, and we also played SmackDown, the video game.
Totally.
So I was like a big Booker T fan from that. You know, like I was just like starting to kind of like formulate my own opinions about it.
Had you had opinion about it prior to ever watching? Like, did you think just some?
I think I probably was like, you know, fuck that. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even think it like affected me. It was not in my purview. I think that like I remember a high school teacher saying like, your generation is the first generation since the Romans to be entertained by violence the way you are. And I was like, what is violent? I was like,
I mean, that can't be true.
What exactly are you talking about? Quentin Tarantino? Or,
yeah.
So I was just like, grow up. But, you know, so I think like, I think I was like, well, I was watching it and I was like, oh my God, all these people look amazing. You know, I've never seen like bodies like that aside from like maybe one kid on the football team or something. And then China, you know, I was like, holy shit, like how does a woman look like this? And then, I was just like really taken with it as like its own sort of like performing arts form.
Sure.
And, but yeah, otherwise I like kind of followed, you know, the opinions of my marquee boyfriends, friends and whatever. And, you know, but I think every once in a while I was kind of like, man, it would probably be really cool to be a wrestler. I don't know. That wasn't even actually, I'm not going to lie. That was never something I considered before like 2015.
It'd be like if I said as a kid, I want to be an astronaut one day, you know, like it's never.
Like before I thought about being a wrestler, I thought about being like the president of the United States and a pop star. And like,
you should do both.
That'd
be cool if you did both of those things.
Sazzy 2024.
Yeah, totally. So, but you were into fitness?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, okay. So
was that in high school or was that?
That was much later. I was also just fully leaned into the theater thing. I was like, I am not athletic. I will not even try, you know. I think I actually we had cross country teams in 7th and 8th grade and there was really wonderful coach there. And I ran with my two best friends, still my best friends to this day. Nice. But we did that. And then I revisited that in my senior year of college. Okay. So, like, ran for the Pratt Cannoneers, like.
And in that time, had you ever smoked a cigarette or one joint in the time between? Okay, I'm just joking. Okay, so you're normal.
Yes, like I smoked many a joint, many a cigarettes. Totally. But I got into fitness like 2015 or 2016, like really ass backwards because I like fell into it. Because I started going again with a boyfriend who was terrible. But we're still friends, but he was just whatever, he knows. But, we would go he was like, oh, you got to come to the gun club with me, which is what it was called at the time. And it was just like a little studio that his friend Greg Ramirez owned and operated. And at that time, this guy named Ricky Bryan, who would become a very good friend of mine and my boss, was teaching classes. And we were going, every once in a while. It was kind of expensive, like whatever. But yeah, other than that, I wasn't really like, I had like a gym membership kind of phoning it in. Like my brother actually was the athletic one. And when he lived in New York, the first time around, he and I would go to the gym a lot. And that was like my primary motivator. And, but then, I started, I booked a commercial, that still to this day is like the highest paying job I ever had, but it was only like $5,000. Okay. But yeah, so I booked that and I was like, let me just put this money towards my fitness. Cause of course I woke up on like New Year's Day, 2015, 2016, whatever it was. And, after doing like mountains of blow and
Yeah.
pills and whatever, and my teeth
Good
hurt
times.
and my whole body hurt. Yeah. So I was like,
Totally. I know that feeling.
fucking terrible person. And then so I was like, let me just start give myself a 30-day challenge, because he's doing like this 30-day challenge program. And Ricky eventually took over the studio, and he was like, have you ever thought about being a fitness instructor? Because you're like an actor. It would work really well for you, because it's super flexible and you get to stay in shape, and eventually it could make you a lot of a good amount of money.
Yeah.
Like, I was cocktail waitressing at the time and kind of like dying inside every day. And I was like, okay, let's try this out. So I basically like was there every day for like months, and I would work out there, and I would like silently weep into the mat as I was stretching, because like because I was just like, this is so hard. This is so hard,
Did you ever get ringworm?
Absolutely. I got ringworm. I got athlete's foot. I got all the fungals. So I learned that the hard way. And then so I kind of did that for like 3 or 4 years. That studio kind of folded. When
did like Fitness for Misfits come about?
Like really recently.
Really?
Yeah, that was a pandemic baby. So that was
cool.
Probably around the same time that I started wrestling at Technique to Training. I also launched that, because I parted ways with my studio fitness job, and I was like, I really need to focus on who I do like jive with, because like I said, like the studio I was working at, there were a lot of wonderful people training there, but it was in Williamsburg. It was primarily very like wealthy, white, heteronormative.
Were the people like vile?
No, but there were sometimes.
Yeah,
like there were definitely like swaths of very entitled men and women who come through and like, treat us like their servants and stuff. But the I don't know, there used to be a sense of community there that like the pandemic took away. So I was kind of like, this is why I was doing it, the community aspect of it. And then that kind of like dropped off. And so I decided to launch fitness. I launched Miss Fitness as a way to kind of like say to people, hey, like I'm a queer trainer. I'm weird. I'm different. If you're weird and different and you don't like to work out, but you want to work out, like let's work together, because I feel you, And so I've got like a kind of wide variety of clients right now. I work with a 15-year-old that I used to babysit when I was in college.
Really?
Yeah, she's really cute. She plays tennis too, but we just work on like strength and conditioning basically. And
Is it like virtual? Or
I have a virtual client too. I do virtuals and I do in person, but I've been meeting people in parks.
But, okay, cool.
Yeah, as long as the pandemic kind of as long as we kind of keep it at bay in New York City, like I'm hoping to be able to move the operation indoors to like a gym that I can rent space in. But
cool.
But like otherwise it's just kind of like, everything's kind of touch and go here right now. And I think, I'm just hoping that we can like talk to each other, like be near each other.
Yeah, totally.
So,
Okay, so eventually something clicked or you were put in a trance. How did you say, I'm going to become a professional wrestler? That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Oh, no. I got hit in the head real hard. No, that's happened since. But anyways, I think that the turning point. Okay, so the pipeline was got out of art school. I worked in various retail jobs for a little bit. I hated my life. I was like, I want to do something different. So I decided to circle back to acting because I loved doing that. And I actually, felt like that was something I could really grasp when I was a kid. And so I enrolled in a program at a Meisner technique studio called the Maggie Flanagan Studio. And I study with Maggie and several other people in this like kind of conservatory type setting. And I, kind of learned how to act from like the ground up, and after I got out of there, like the general consensus from my instructors were like, you have comedic timing, but you don't have any comedic credits. So like, why don't you go enroll in an improv program?
Yeah.
So, then I got into UCB, and I, spent a lot of time in and around UCB and the Beast and, all those guys for like 4 years. I was doing like improv and stand up and stuff like that. And that was cool because like focusing on that really like gave me an opportunity to kind of like not focus on the fact that I wasn't booking work as an actor. And then simultaneously, as life would have it,
Sure.
like in the midst of that, I end up getting signed, and that was cool. But so UCB used to have this show called Cage Match, and it was an audience competition. It was an improv competition where the audience chose which team they liked the most.
Okay.
There was like a whole tournament, Yeah. So Cage Match, obviously a wrestling concept. So the producer like inserted this little kind of interstitial called UCBW into that show. It used to be its own thing, but then UCBW kind of got compiled with Cage Match. And so like in between the two improv shows, kind of in the intermission, there would be like a comedy wrestling show. Like two comedians would come out and gimmick, and the gimmicks would be like fucking insane. There was like Big Boss Lady, and like our friend Big Rich played he played like a doorman. The doorman was his gimmick, and then like and then we had our own mass transit, which was Pat Bear, like dressed like an MTA employee, and then so I had so I saw that, and then this guy Mitch Fesh, he kind of produced that segment of the show, and he had been training at Chikara Wrestle Factory at the time, with my other friend Rob Spencer, who is now known as Dan the Goddamn Candyman. I don't know if you heard him.
For sure, of course.
Yes. So Goddamn Candyman in that show at that time was called Laundry Matt. That was one of his gimmicks that he was doing. He was like an evil laundry boy. And so I went on this like random night in October, and they did Cage Match, but then in the middle of Cage Match and then after Cage Match, they had these UCBW segments, and fucking like it was like oh my god, it was like Chucky T was there, Drew Gulak was there, fucking Jervis was there, like Gentleman Jervis was there, the Ant Colony was there, like he got all of these Chikara wrestlers to come out and do like this comedy wrestling show with comedians. And the comedians involved were like Anna Dresden, who writes for SNL now. She was Bridezilla, and then she was there was we had the EMT. My friend Jim played the EMT, and he would kind of like put hands on you like blast. It was really funny. But I was just like everybody went for the fucking improv superstars, and I went for UCBW because I thought that shit was so good. And I was like, I love this because I'm in fitness and this is comedy, and like I could do that. I think I could actually like bring some real like physical prowess to this, So I fast forward, I get involved, and Fesh, I pitch a couple characters to Fesh. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I didn't even know, and then like enough about wrestling to like invent spots or anything. So he was like doing everything for me. But I was, my name was Bear Girls, and I was a reality TV survivalist. And I had this cameraman with me all the time, and he would always get in the way of things, or like, he would like botch spots. Or it was kind of a good gimmick, but yeah. So I remember going out there.
Did you speak with an accent?
No, not even. No, it was so basic, I just went out there and was myself basically. And yeah, so, I remember the first night I did that, I walked out and I was like, greeted with like dead silence. I go out of the my theme song is Welcome to the Jungle.
Uh-huh.
Bust out of the curtain, everybody's like,
oh God. Did you feel that right away?
Yeah.
Did you realize it?
Sucking the energy out of it. I was like, fuck this, fuck y'all. I'm gonna do my thing.
Yeah.
And then I, proceeded to have this like little mini comedy wrestling career at UCB, and then by proxy with this other company called XSW that Fesh decided to produce.
Okay.
But yeah, like Fesh and I would just meet up and he would just teach me shit that he was learning at Chikara on in like a studio, like in a rental studio where there's like maybe some dance, like some gymnastics pads, like the folding blue ones.
Sure,
and, like,
sure.
He like taught me how to take like a tilt-a-whirl head scissors, like in this in this setting.
Wow.
He's like a big, strong dude. So like that was, but it was also like looking back on it, I was like, how the fuck were we doing these? But yeah,
those
I remember
pads are like this, right? They're like not thick.
Yeah. I let him body slam me onto the stage of a comedy show one time, and I was just like, and still same pads.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I'd never do that now.
Seriously, jeez.
I would never. But I just really love the idea of like being this. It was like I had one foot in and one foot out though, because I was like, I think it would be really cool to wrestle, but like this isn't real wrestling, and I'm not trained, and like whatever. I'm getting down on myself. So then finally, I decided to enroll at it wasn't House of Glory, but it was FTW Fight the World, taking House of Glory space a couple times a week.
Okay.
So I would go train with them, like on Tuesday nights or something, like once a week for 6 months. I was doing that, just like very non-committal training. And I was under working under the Grim Reaper, and Malta the Destroyer, James Bonavent Dijon or whatever. So those two dudes were like, I went in and everybody was just like, again, like I walk in the door and there was just like dead fucking silence.
Oh, God.
And then I was like, is this where the wrestling happens? Yeah, they were like, but I had been talking to Cooter, Brian Idol on like Facebook Messenger about it. He was like, yeah, man, come on in. And then I walk in, he's not there because like he only trades on Long Island. And I walk in and nobody knows who I am or that I was coming. And I was just like, so what do we do first? And, they were kind of just like, okay, what do you know? And I think it was like, I was like bumping around and rolling around and stuff. And I was like kind of okay at like doing whatever.
I really didn't even move in the second going on. All right.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll make sure not to touch anything either. Yeah, so all I was saying was training at FTW, great. I was kind of like, I was like afraid of bumping around and getting hit and stuff, and I still kind of am to some extent, but I'm a little better about it. That. I know. Brad, when I train with Brad, he hits me a lot, and he's like, I hit you a lot because you flinch a lot. And I was like,
oh, really? I mean, that sounds like a big brother. It's like sounds like a big brother like picking on you. They would say that.
I think
I'm not going to hit you. Put your arms down, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever. So I was dabbling around at FTW for a while, and I was still kind of like, I'm not a wrestler. I'm just an actor trying to learn a new skill or whatever. And then I bust out my tilt-a-whirl head scissors one night, and they're like, "You're gonna be the champion of the year!" They like start losing their minds because at that time they were not fostering any of the female talent that was actually there. Who was like Ivy Lopez, who's fucking great, and then my friend Nisha, who's now at TTT with me, and then a couple other girls who were like really young, and I think they just like. Like a lot of women, it's really fucking hard for a lot of women to walk into a wrestling gym and like stay, I mean, there's still a lot of like machismo and like, posturing and ring hogging that happens. Like it happens at my gym sometimes too, but we're a very like friendly, mostly queer group, you know. And so I feel like we kind of defied the rule a little bit, but you know, but yeah, so that happened, and then I was like, and then I like booked some acting work that I thought was important, and like some other shit, and then I was like, fuck wrestling, I'm done, bye, you know. And then yeah, and then that was like 2019, and then yeah, life, the pandemic, many job losses and cater waiting jobs and whatever shit later. Like a lot of auditions not being booked and all that shit. And it was kind of like, and then I remembered like back in January, maybe seeing a post on a private Facebook group that goddamn Candyman left there. And he was like, hey guys, I'm training at this new place called T to T in Williamsburg, and it's really good. Like I cannot tell you, it's like really, really good, and I think you all should come try it, you know, because I think they make it really approachable. It's like really approachable style of training. And I was like, wow, you know, because I remember when Rob was like scared to bump, you know, like I remember when he was in the beginning, and then he was like, he like is flying, he's doing all kinds of high spots, he's an amazing wrestler now. Obviously he's booking a lot of shows, and like, you know, it's kind of like I kind of kept it in the back of my mind for a couple months, and then things kind of imploded with my day job, and I was like, fuck this shit, fuck everything, I'm gonna fucking wrestle, nobody can tell me otherwise. Like all I've been daydreaming about for the last 3 years is becoming a pro wrestler, and I'm not like, I haven't been willing to take the leap, and now I'm gonna fucking do it, and nobody can say shit to me, you know. So like that was the general feeling. And then I guess like I kind of carried that into like Sazzy. So, you know, like it feels very like, it feels like I'm in the right place at the right time finally. You know what I mean? Like
it combines all of your talents being a professional wrestler. Yeah. More so than like, you know, a normal person, not normal, you know, like your average person, like who doesn't have acting chops and is not, you know, physically fit and comfortable, you know, speaking in front of. Were you comfortable speaking in front of other people?
Yeah, that was kind of like, I feel like I was more comfortable speaking in front of other people on stage than I was like in a classroom setting or something for a long time. You know, there was like I felt like I cultivated that public privacy really well, like being, I don't know, maybe it's my introvertedness or something, but I don't know, somehow I managed to forget about like 100 people in the dark and not like 15 people in the daytime. But so I feel like I was good enough at public speaking by way of just doing theater and stuff, you know, and like watching a lot of, man, I watched so much Inside the Actor Studio when I was younger, and I was just like, you know, constantly like doing my own Inside the Actor Studio, like in my bedroom, combing my hair and stuff, like, well, James,
totally.
When I did The Wiz at Westerville South High School, you know, whatever. So, it was I don't know. It's hard to say. It's like, so that was like the long answer to your question. But yeah, I think public speaking has never been like that much of a challenge. Yeah. Not really.
And do you, was your body physically ready? Like when you started training, was it physically ready, or did you have to like change your whole like way you work out and eat?
Yeah, you know, like I probably was in the best shape of my life in 2019 because I was at that gym and I spent all my time there, and I also worked out there, and I became vegetarian. Nice. This is something I kind of did on and off like throughout my whole life, but like officially kind of, you know,
like every now and again you'd have the thirst for blood of an animal.
I was like a medium rare to rare person my entire life.
You saw some blood in the water. Like,
yeah. I was like, ah.
Yeah. All right, go on. I'm sorry.
Anyways, but yeah. So I learned how to be really healthy by way of like my colleagues there and stuff.
Sure.
I mean, I already had like some understanding of it being in like the periphery of the fitness industry at my old job, but yeah, so that was that. But I also like it was a lot of cardio, it was a lot of HIIT. I got really, really skinny, like not unhealthy skinny, but I was skinnier than I was now. Over the pandemic, I think I've gained like 15 pounds, which is like, if I gained 15 pounds, yeah. I mean, I'm not mad about it, but yeah, I think essentially, I think a lot of that weight was gained after I started training because after that first night of training, I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like, I've never worked out for longer than an hour, And then I was like running around and working out like for 2 hours on end, even though there's a lot of stopping and starting. I mean, like, my other trainer, Logan Black, he will put us through 50 minutes of cardio and not even bat an eye about it. And I'm like, I like never felt more out of shape than when I started there, just by the nature of wrestling itself, like I would get really winded after comedy wrestling shows, and we were not even doing that much. Like, we couldn't run ropes. We didn't have ropes.
Oh my God.
So I was just like, I was dying. And then I like went to see my PT, who was like, don't do it. I was like, I'm going to wrestle again. He's like, don't do it. I was like, well, he's like, I was like, it actually went like, you don't want me to do it, do you? And he was like, well, I can't tell you what to do and what not to do. But if your shoulder hurts now, I guarantee it's going to hurt a lot more after you start wrestling. And he was right. But, at the same time, I was like, I'm going to do it. And then I did it. And then I, a couple weeks later was like, my whole body hurts. And he was like, yeah. And then he was like, what did he say? He was like, how long are you doing this? And I told him, and he was like, that's more than most people work out. He's like, if you're working out for 3 hours twice a week, that's probably good, So my whole shit changed after that, because I would work out like an hour a day for 5 days in a row, and then take the weekend off or whatever. But then it was like, okay, like I can't keep doing the stop and start shit. Like, so I'll work out a few hours on Monday night when I train, and then on Tuesday, I'm also working on getting a Pilates certification. So that's another facet of the shit that I'm doing. But so I would do Pilates or yoga like every day, to kind of just keep my body limber. And then when I went to the gym, like maybe in between like reps in the ring or something, I would do some like lightweight work or like medicine ball shit or whatever. Sure. But I would still like be really stop and start. And just recently I actually ended up hiring my friend, who's also a personal trainer, to start training me, because I'm like, okay, like I need to be able to lift a person over my head, like for real, like I can like when I'm all fired up and shit, but like my shoulder hurts afterwards and I don't look like I can actually do it. So let's make me look like Rhea Ripley and call it a day. You know what I mean? So that's kind of a goal now. I'm also working with Logan's wife, who is a power lifter. We work out together, and she imparts lots of her knowledge to me, and that's very helpful. But now it's like, I feel like I'm starting to like put the pedal to the metal, so to speak, with like my training regimen, because I'm like, okay, like I am a fully formed product, as a wrestler. I'm like, I need to like start fucking like getting fucking serious about this. You know what I mean? I got shin splints running the ropes the other day. Like,
oh jeez, I mean, those are high school.
I know. I was like, why do my shins hurt so much?
And now, do you keep that to yourself, or like, do you tell?
It's here now.
Yeah, that's true. It's out there. So, are you 2-0 right now?
Yeah.
So was your first match with Brother Greatness or Drew Doobie? I wasn't sure.
It was with Joe Doobie.
Okay.
The man of 420 names. And I gotta say, he's a really good wrestler. I fucking squashed his ass that night, and that was fun.
Was it fun? Yeah, was it like exciting? Like, did you wake up that morning like being so excited that you were gonna wrestle?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think like there's still a massive amount of nerves that goes along with it, and
Like, do you remember the match clearly? I mean, it wasn't terribly long ago, but
it was like, yeah, it was like 30 seconds long too. It was like clothesline submission, you know, and yeah, so it was like I remember waking up that morning to my dog like sitting on my pillow and staring at me, which I got a picture of. I don't remember where I put it. I think I posted on their Instagram, but I was just kind of, you know, like I felt like the way I used to feel like show day when I was in high school, you know, like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
Throwing up beforehand.
Yeah. I mean, no. I'm not a big vomiter somehow, but like, you know, I'm like scared of it.
Yeah.
I'm scared of things coming out of my mouth.
Be scared of.
Yeah. But like, yeah, so I would just kind of like, you know, not eat and like be nervous all day and kind of like walk around in kind of this fog of anxiety. And then when I got to the, but before, and also I was like, I'm going to take it real easy today. And then I got to the space at call time and fucking AG was in there doing a clinic with everybody. And I was like, shit. And Becca was there and like, it was a scene. And I was like, okay, now I have to like put my boots on and work. And I get in there and show everybody my lack of upper body strength in a back roll. And I was like, okay. And Becca was like, it's all good. It's a squishy ring. I was like, it's our ring, you know? And then, yeah, it was like a full ass workout with like insane WWE, like cardio drills and shit like that. And,
wow.
I was like, ah! And then we had to get dressed and like start the show. And it was an amazing show. These shows are so good. The next one is on October 16th. October 16th in Brooklyn. I have no idea where or what time, but it's going to be there.
And that's going to be your next match?
I'm actually wrestling in New England on the weekend of the 8th. I think I'm doing a couple shows up there. And yeah, and then
is this like an exciting journey for you?
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like it's exciting, but there are also a lot of moments along the way where I've been like, am I too old? Am I going to die? Are my legs going to fall off? Are my shins going to feel this way forever? You know, am I going to roll an ankle? You know, like there's a lot of fear that kind of like bubbles up with all of it. And that's probably the biggest challenge is just kind of fighting the imposter syndrome and fighting the fear of just what could happen, but what has not happened, you know? And it's like that with everything I do. I mean, I've felt that way about being a fitness instructor. I felt that way about being an actor. And it's like, okay, well, if you have multiple years of experience under your belt at something, like eventually just by virtue of experience, you're not an imposter. But, you know, like since I'm so new in wrestling, it's hard, but it's also like, it makes me train harder. You know, it makes me be more diligent about like, the submissions that I learn and like the voice that I'm kind of building as an athlete in the ring. Because it's not what I expected it to be. And I think that the other aspect of my experience is that I think, you know, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I think a lot of people are very excited about me in the ring. Yeah, and you know, my trainers and all the people I go to school with are no exception, and everybody has ideas. You know, everybody wants to like kind of give me their 2 cents on what they think I should do, and you know, like I think everybody's ideas are good because they've all been training longer than me, and you know, that's just what it is. Yeah. So you know, it's been that kind of muddies the waters a little bit for me, but I'm starting to learn to kind of like nod and smile and say thank you and walk away and like erase my brain a little bit.
Yeah. That's what drugs are good for. I find.
I mean, I take antidepressants now, so.
Oh, yeah, me too.
And I hit my head a lot, so.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, that face compression mask, hopefully.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to let you go in a minute because I think I'm going to get in a lot of trouble behind this door. Waiting for, like, I don't know if you've heard, like I hear kids knocking at the door.
Really?
Like,
No, I haven't heard at
because they
all.
want to go to bed. But can I ask you 5 non-wrestling related yes or no questions?
Sure.
Okay. The first one, do you get offended if someone asks your age?
Oh my God. No.
Okay. My mom is 74. Okay. Would I have any reason to worry if you two were in like a waiting room together? And I've never talked to my stepdad about this, but I think he would be, it would hurt his feelings, like infidelity. So would I have any reason to worry?
I mean, is your mom a lovely lady?
All right. No, I mean, she's got a good personality. She's got a good personality.
I mean, then no, all bets are off.
Yeah, I'll send you some headshots of her. Do you have anything that you need to repent for that you've done this past year at next week's Jewish holiday, Yom Kippur?
Probably.
Okay, good answer. For $4.2 million, would you wear a turtleneck every day for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do much more for much less. Honestly.
Yeah. All right, and the last question is, have you ever worn a priest costume on a date other than Halloween?
No.
Okay.
I can't believe that. I've never worn like the call. Oh.
No.
Wait. No. Oh, I don't know. It might have been, to be honest, it might have been for a school project, but that might have been my sister definitely dressed up as the Pope for a school project. That wasn't problematic at all. But I feel like at some point I had to like figure out how to do a thing. Oh, you know what? It was probably it was probably from my high school boyfriend because he played I think he played a priest in something.
Oh, okay.
In like fucking inherit the wind is about priests is about that.
So you had the little white thing that in there. All right.
Production doubt or something.
I appreciate your honesty in answering these questions, along with the other stuff prior to it. But thank you so much for coming on and giving me this amount of time. I'm sorry that my connection kept. What am I even saying? Connection? The internet had nothing to do with it. My goddamn camera. So. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing your career in more matches and eventually on IWTV. And then maybe on the silver screen one day. But, I'm dreaming big. But I wish you nothing but the best and stay healthy and safe. And hopefully we'll talk again soon.
Yes. Thanks for letting me talk your ear off, Brad.
Oh, I loved it. Sazzy, anytime. You take care, all right?
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye.